The Cold War was the most dangerous era in the history of the world.
We came that close to nuclear war, and we didn't even know how close we were until 20 or 30 years later.
I have become the destroyer of the world. That is what Oppenheimer said minutes after first explosion.
You cannot really wage a war, nuclear war. It means mutual destruction and maybe destruction of the whole globe.
Each of us, the Soviets and the West, went through the same thought process. Each of us thought the other possessed the means to destroy us. And the way that each of us thought of preventing it from happening was to develop an action such that if the other initiated action to destroy us by firing nuclear weapons at us, we would be able to respond in ways that would inflict unacceptable damage on them.
And for 2.5 days, Brezhnev and I, head-to-head, negotiated on how we could reduce this nuclear challenge to the two nations, the two superpowers, but to the world as a whole.
Khrushchev, being afraid of American attack, always has overplayed our military might. All this braggery that we produce rockets like sausages. I know that there were even special troops which have built false rockets and rocket positions just for Americans to see it. Because we wanted to look stronger than we were.
The day the Soviets invaded Afghanistan, I gave the president a memo in which the key sentence said, "We now have the opportunity to give the Soviet Union its Vietnam." And if I may add, we did.
And the truth is, most presidents had no clue as to the intricate negotiating details of these strategic arms agreements. Staff people, including secretaries of state, hate summit meetings and hate having the heads of state or heads of government go off by themselves, because there's no telling what these damn fools might do.
And I remember when we started the arms control negotiations, it was so secret. The figures about how many missiles, how many launchers, how many warheads, etc., were so enormously secret. Arms control negotiations, strategically, it was important because it has created the atmospherics of trust.
The Soviets overextended themselves. They were producing too many of nuclear weapons, too many of missiles of different kinds. So the arms race went out of control in case of both countries, but in particular in case of the Soviet Union.
One of the problems today is that there is no collective memory of what the Cold War was like. And you have a whole generation of people who've never lived in the Cold War and therefore think this was some sort of misunderstanding that at the time, by every administration, was considered a life and death conflict and affecting the fundamental survival of the United States in many contests, in many parts of the world.
The events of September 11th, 2001 changed the world forever. The multipolar reality of rogue states and global terrorism has significantly replaced the bipolar brinkmanship of the Cold War. The primary legacy of the Cold War is the existence of weapons of mass destruction. nuclear, biological, and chemical.
Neither chemical or biological are very effective military weapons. They don't really work for organized armies, but they're very, very useful terror weapons. And so that's going to be a problem for us.